What is up, guys? We are, as you could tell, back in the lab. Today is going to be a little bit different. Not really a tech showcase, but kind of a showcase of some of, in my opinion, the most common Yoshi habits that I find a lot of Yoshis doing that can actually be costing them their full potential as a player. They're just something I think is a universal concept with a lot of Yoshi players, especially when starting, that can kind of make a Yoshi struggle to think of like, oh, why are some of these tools good? Like, I don't understand why, like, I would use this, it's not working anymore. Like, and when you're hitting that type of roadblock, it's kind of like annoying, right? To think of like, oh, this like one small thing is limiting my play. I just want to go over like 3 of the biggest ones, in my opinion, that I will personally look out for in other Yoshis, and if they have them or not. So the first of these is going to involve egg lay. Egg lay obviously is one of our best moves. It's so good as, you know, a movement option, a command grab. Obviously, it's our most reliable way of beating shields. And it's overall like such a great move this time, right? Disjoint, good at approaching, good at mixing people up, you know, good at getting damage. So good. But a lot of Yoshi main will almost exclusively use egg lay with B reversing. Namely off of a platform, but if they do it in raw neutral, a lot of the time they'll jump back and then B reverse like this. Like, let's say Meta Knight's right here and he's holding shield freeze. A lot of Yoshis, they'll jump back and then B reverse, right? Can be a solid option. But a lot will choose to exclusively do this. And the problem with that is if you exclusively do this jump back B reverse, it gets predictable. And the opponent is actually able to spot dodge egg lay. It's only active for about 4 frames. So if you only like jump back, what's gonna happen is the opponent's gonna recognize, oh, they're jumping back. I now have the opportunity to spot dodge and punish. So let's say, for example, like the opponent is predicting that B reverse, right? And they have like that fast move. We're able to get punished with a well-timed spot dodge. And that's always no bueno. And it's really easy, like, to just have that tell. Like, oh, the opponent's jumping back in raw neutral and I was just holding shield. That means I'm probably going to get egg. So I could just spot dodge. This luckily has a very easy fix. Going for not just B reverse egg lays is exactly how you fix this issue. So if I'm fighting Meta Knight, I'm not only going to jump back B reverse, I'm going to also approach with egg lay. If the opponent's on the platform, I'm going to grab them while they're on the platform. I'm going to mix in some other versions like turn around egg lay and wave bounce egg lay. And if I do go for a B reverse, I'm going to mix up where I B reverse. I'm not going to only jump back B reverse. Maybe I'll like mix them up with some movement first and then I'll jump back B reverse. Or I don't even need to jump back at all. Remember, we can just raw grab them. We aren't exclusively limited to using B reverse. And I see a lot of Yoshis will only go for egg lay if it's specifically a B reverse. And you're basically just hurting yourself. You're not letting yourself really use the move at all when you have so many other move options. So another really big habit I've seen from a lot of Yoshi mains is specifically when recovering. They'll double jump and then throw their egg right away. Like so. And I have Lucina doing fairs here as a demonstration of what can happen when we go like this, right? Double jump, throw the egg. Now I'm off stage without a jump. Now I have to like recover at this really wonky angle. The reason this is such a big mistake, I'm hitting the egg like sometimes, right? But I'm not getting too much out of the egg. Like, what's happening here is I'm usually losing the interaction. Then if it wasn't obviously like a robot, they would follow up after this and get me. But throwing that egg and your double jump at the same time is just wasting resources. Because when this happens, I have only 2 more eggs to help me recover. And that third egg is like pretty weak too. But I'm literally throwing myself into them. This is something I see so many Yoshis do. Because they think of egg as simply they think of egg toss as a reversal. And that's a pretty dangerous thing to do, of thinking egg toss as a reversal tool. Because that'll lead into situations where you yourself get reversaled. So rather than that, what we have to think of egg roll as is a disruptor. Let's say we play this same situation again, right? Where Lucina's doing forward air. And I throw an egg without the intent of hitting her, like, and getting a combo out. What I'm doing here is I'm allowing the egg just to like hit her to get out of the way. I'm throwing eggs so I could just get back to ledge. I want to use it as a disruptor. I want their timing to mess up so that I could, you know, be able to actually get back onto stage, rather than focusing on it as like, oh, I need to hit this so I can get a big combo. And whether it like trades with the egg or hits them doesn't necessarily matter. What matters more so is that it's messing up their tempo. And then maybe you could get a reversal off of it, yeah. But it's more so like, oh, I want like their attempt to hit me out of my jump to be disruptive. Due to Yoshi's unique mechanics of grabbing ledge, a lot of Yoshis are kind of uncomfortable with grabbing the ledge. So they throw the egg because they don't know what else to do. Yoshi, when he has his double jump active, can't grab ledge. A lot of characters at like near the end of their double jump, they could grab the ledge, obviously, or they could grab it like in the middle of their double jump. Yoshi can't do that because of his armor frames. Same thing with egg toss. He can't grab the ledge really reliably with egg toss, so grabbing the ledge with him is hard. A big way that you could start grabbing the ledge with Yoshi is with air dodge or with down, like doing down B below the ledge. A lot of Yoshis are very scared to do this, or don't know they can, or they don't know the spacing. It's really important that you know, like, oh, like I can go a little bit below the ledge, hit down B, and I can instantly snap the ledge. This gives you like an opportunity when you're recovering low, instead of again just jumping and throwing your egg and wasting everything, that you can snap ledge actually. The last thing I want to talk about today is, I think, a habit that a lot of Yoshis kind of don't even notice they have, is what I like to call the Yolo Fair, right? So in short, the opponent's off stage and you just go for the fair, right? You don't really have any intent. You're just trying to be like, oh, I want to hit them. I want to hit them. Now, listen to that key word I said. You're going out there with not too much, you know, intent. A lot of Yoshis will fall into this trap that when you go for an edge guard, that basically just means you want to hit the opponent. But rather than that, you want to focus on like, oh, if you're going for an edge guard, there has to be a reason why you're going for the edge guard in this particular spot. Maybe it's because you have a hard read on them. Maybe it's because you are, you know, they don't have their jumps, stuff like that. But I'll see a lot of Yoshis, when they try to go for an edge guard, they'll just throw out fair and just hope it works. But what ends up happening is you're giving up so much stage position. When you're going off stage, there's an inherent risk reward. The risk being giving up your stage positioning or being reversaled. But the reward is getting a stop, right? A lot of Yoshis will go for that fair only thinking about the reward rather than the risk. And what'll end up happening is you go for that fair and suddenly you're in a position where you're getting reverse ledge trap. And if you go for what we were talking about earlier with the double jump egg, a lot of people will go for that fair, miss, double jump egg toss, get hit for it, and then boom, that's it. Like, that's the stock. It's over. You want to make sure that when you're edge guarding, you're really thinking about when's a good time to edge guard? Oh, they can only go low. You know what? Maybe going for a fair is worth it. Oh, they're definitely going high. I have a read. They're going to jump here. I'm going to go high and go for the fair now. You never want to be in a position where you're basically guessing with the opponent. You want to either be sure that you're going for a read, or you see the opponent is out of options and then you go for a fair. If you want more of a general edge guard, Nair is usually your best bet instead of fair. It's longer lasting and it's much easier to just get back to ledge, where it's like, oh, you don't know what to do for an edge guard, but you want to go for one. Go for a drop down Nair, get back to ledge while you're at it. You know, so if they do like a rising teleport or something like that, you Nair them, you know, try to go for a hit. If it misses, you still have stage position. But with fair, you can't really do that, because if you do a drift back fair, you're basically losing all of the hitbox for the most part. But a drift back Nair, since Nair extends and then retracts, you're still getting that hitbox if you drift out. But with fair, you're not really getting any of that because it starts at the top. So if I'm ever going for a general edge guard and I don't have a read on the opponent yet, I'm going for a Nair. But if I know what the opponent is doing, or if the opponent has to recover in a certain way, that's when I'll use fair. Fair is still an important part of our edge guard, but we want to be sure that we're using it in the right spots, not just going off stage for a fair and then risking potentially getting reversaled for it because we're combining two of the bad habits into one. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Be sure to let me know what you guys want to see next. If you have any further questions about Yoshi, his metagame, how he's been evolving, or you want to learn more about Yoshi himself, I do have a metafy, metafy.gg/@pharaoh, where I can go way more in depth on all of these topics. But other than that, yeah, I'll leave you guys there, and I hope you have a great day.